A fourth candidate entered the Omaha mayoral race this afternoon. State Senator Mike McDonnell is throwing his name in the mix.
McDonnell recently made headlines when he refused to vote in favor of getting rid of Nebraska's winner-take-all electoral system. McDonnell joined the Republican Party this year after being censured by Democrats for his stance on abortion.
He will face off against Jasmine Harris, Douglas County Treasurer John Ewing, and three-term incumbent Mayor Gene Stothert. The primary for the nonpartisan race is April 1st. The general election is May 13th. First, a look